So right now, Russia is invading Ukraine. What does that mean to you? What does it mean for your money? Should you buy gold or should you buy Bitcoin? We're going to talk about those issues and a couple of others in this video. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Mark Yegge, Wealth Architect. We help 7- and 8-figure investors play offense and defense with their money. And right now there's a world conflict that's going on, and we haven't seen anything this serious in a long time. So we're not really used to it. We've kind of forgotten what it's like to be in conflicts, and we're not even in the conflict. But you know what? The press has a way of sticking it in our face and making us feel like we're there, especially with all this social media going on. So let's break it down and talk about what it means for you and your money. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the political implications because that's beyond what I do here, as a wealth architect. But I want to help you decide some of the things that you can do, because we want to get you ahead of the curve, and we don't want you to have to react before it's too late. So let's talk about what this actually means for you. So first of all, there are bank lines of hundreds of people forming in Russia to get their money out of the banks, right? And the ATM. So there's lots of lines. People are freaked out. They're like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my money? And so this is what happens when there's trouble. People go and they start to get money out. The problem is that the ruble is dropping in value against other currencies in the world. So it's only going to be able to be used in their economy, which is what Putin probably wants. I don't know. But they're running to get that because they know that there could be a day that those banks aren't open, right? There could be a conflict and the banks could close and they'll be stuck not having a way to exchange goods, right? They're running on the bank. It's happening in Poland. It's happening in Russia. It's happening in Belarus. It's certainly happening in Ukraine. In fact, I've seen some posts on my Twitter feed of people who can't get their money out of banks because the banks are out of money, and they want to go get out of Dodge, right? They want to get out of the city because the city's getting shelled, and so they need to get gas. Well, some of the gas stations are out of gas. They also may not have a car, so they're having to go use Bitcoin to buy cars, right? People are accepting Bitcoin, and they're probably on the next car out of Dodge anyway. So it's interesting that that there's money that's, if they were smart, they were putting their money into cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, because even if they shut off the banks, at least you still have your money somewhere, right? You can flee the country and you can have your Bitcoin anywhere else in the world. So we'll talk about that in just a second. So I remember when I was back in Greece, when they were having the European crisis, and Greece was basically insolvent. And they had to renegotiate all of their loans, and they pushed them out from 50 years to like 180 years or some crazy thing like that. But what they did was they went to this program called austerity. Germany and the other powers that be in Europe were basically saying, look, you can't keep spending money like you've been spending, like the rest of the world is doing right now, but you can't be spending money the way you're spending. So you've got to stop. And so Greece was like, okay, they're trying to get their feet. Everybody was coming down on them. They didn't have liquidity. So they came down on the citizens, and they basically said, you can only get $400 out of your bank account at any one time. Now, that was like during a week period or during a month period. They were called capital controls, which means you could only get $400 out. I don't know about you, but $400 isn't a lot of money. 400 euros, I guess I should say. 400 euros isn't even a lot of money, but that was what the limit was. So you could have had €1 million, but you were only allowed to get 400 out of your bank. And so that meant that, if you had a big family, you probably couldn't eat, or you had to at least decide between eating and heating and transportation and all the things that we take for granted. And so that happened in 2011. And I was very surprised that the economy ground to the halt. People got laid off. Taxes went up. It was just not a good time in Greece. Could it happen here? Well, all I can tell you is that over the last few weeks, Canada had a protest. It's nothing like what's going on in Ukraine, right? People they're dropping bombs. It was pretty much a peaceful protest. And their truckers came into Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada, and they basically shut the town down because they wanted the mandates to go away. And so as they did that, the government came after them, right? They froze their bank accounts. They came after this GoFundMe account that basically raised a bunch of money for the truckers. They said, if you're involved in that, you're a terrorist. And they did all kinds of things that, in my opinion, were a bit far-reaching. We don't want to be in that same situation. They froze their bank accounts, and they're trying to stop people, in fact, from investing in Bitcoin. Like people were giving donations in Bitcoin to help out the truckers, to pay for their food, their lodging, the things that they needed, maybe even some gas or whatever that they needed to extend their protest. And the Canadian government didn't like that. Well, it's a peaceful protest. They weren't throwing Molotov cocktails. They weren't breaking into buildings. They weren't burning things down. They weren't beating cops up. They were saying, we want the jabs to end. There was a movement very quickly toward Bitcoin. And now people in Canada, there was a quick run on the banks. Some of the banks shut down for a very brief period of time because they realized that people were doing what they're doing in Russia right now and in Ukraine right now. They're running on the banks trying to get their money out. And the banks don't have all that money, guys. They don't have your money sitting there, right? They have some representation of money that they've lent out 10 times on your money, but they don't have your money that you put in sitting there. And so if everybody goes to the bank at the same time, the bank can't give you your money. That's a problem. And Canada's a little freaked out about this. So they're trying to get their feet about them too and let people have some freedoms and things like that. Anyway, I'm getting way off on it. Now I want to talk about what you can do when it comes to this, because could this come here? Well, it's happened in Canada. Like nobody ever thought it would happen in Canada, but it did. Could it happen here in the United States? Could it happen in Canada? Could it happen, any other places where you're getting the same kind of financial problems that you're having and you're going to continue to have in Ukraine, in Russia, in Belarus? Most people say, well, I'll just put my money in gold, right? And gold will go up. And you're seeing gold start to show some volatility. It's trading near its all-time highs. It's starting to get some value. Now, I want to caution you, the word value comes from the denominator. Gold is at all-time highs compared to the dollar, but that's because the dollar has depreciated in value. As we've printed all this money, there are more and more and more and more and more dollars. So that value of the dollar has gone down, which has caused the value of gold to go up. But the gold still buys the same amount of goods it's always bought, right? That doesn't change. It just changes when you change the denominator. If you look at it versus the yen or versus the euro, you're going to get different values. But right now against the dollar, it's changing and it's going to all-time highs. People are starting to grab onto some gold. Now, gold has some really great properties and it's had it for thousands of years. And that's why gold has always stood the test of time as a monetary currency or a store of value. So let's talk about that. So gold is a store of value. We start to describe money and what money is. It's a store of value. Gold has that. It's a medium of exchange, right? It's accepted. Well, I don't know if I'd accept it for my courses, for example, or for my services, but maybe I would. Certainly people value gold, and at some point it's accepted, right? What it doesn't have is it doesn't have complete scarcity. And, they're always making more gold. They're always finding more gold. And the higher the price that gold has, the more people are going to be finding more gold, right? Because it's not scarce. It's not limited. Yeah, there's some limitations on getting it out of the ground, but there's always going to be somebody that can find more. Hence the fact that we have miners that are still in business and they're at the top in the top sectors right now because gold is trading at the top. So if there weren't any more gold to be found, there wouldn't be any miners. Therefore, it's not completely scarce. They're always making a little bit more, just like the dollar. They're just printing more, devaluing it. It's the closest thing to scarcity that we've ever had up until Bitcoin, but it's not completely scarce. And it's also not portable, right? If you wanted to flee your country, right? The people in Ukraine are not able to put all their money in gold and just put it in their pockets and go. Gold, takes a lot of room. It's dense, it's heavy, it's hard to transport. It's not really portable. Plus, it's real easy to bonk you over the head with a wrench and take your gold, right? Now, when it comes to Bitcoin, now there's other cryptocurrencies that I could talk about too, but I'm really specifically talking about Bitcoin because Bitcoin's never been hacked. It's a 13-year-old technology. It has all the other characteristics that gold has. It's got a store of value. It's a medium of exchange. It's accepted, not accepted by everybody yet, but it's pretty easy to get accepted when you take it, put it on your phone onto an app, and somebody else can, take another app and transfer Bitcoin back and forth. And it takes a fraction of a second. It can happen on a Saturday. You can't move your money on a Saturday in the Western banking system, but you can move it 24/7 on Bitcoin. And so there's an acceptability that's growing. There's certainly a store of value there. And there's now a portability when it comes to gold, because as it becomes more portable, it's on a USB, or it's in your head, or it's on a cold wallet or a hard wallet on the internet, and you can move it from one place to the other in just a few seconds. So it's extremely portable. And the big value that it has, similar to gold in a lot of ways, is decentralized. It's distributed over millions of nodes around the world. And you could bomb 500,000 of the nodes, and it's still on the other, let's call it 9.5 million nodes. Like, you can't take it away. It's decentralized. It's not in any one place. And so because it's decentralized, it means it's ubiquitous, it's everywhere, and there's no central authority. There's no one man, no person that can say it can't exist. So we're watching what's going on in Ukraine, in Russia. We're watching what's going on with the money. That's really what I'm concerned about, is making sure that you've protected your money. Because if something happens here, right, and it can happen, you see, it can happen in a matter of a few days, right? It doesn't always take a year or 2 years to happen. September 11th, 2001 happened like that, and it changed our world overnight, right? It changed a lot of things for us. So anything can happen in this world now, and you've got to be prepared. I'm not saying take all your money and put it in Bitcoin. I'm not saying take all your money and put it in gold. I'm saying you've got to be prepared. Now, I always recommend to my clients that they have 5 to 10% of their assets, and it all depends on, this is not financial advice, this is what I recommend to my clients, to have 5 to 10% of their assets in stores of value, things like gold, silver, and Bitcoin. And I think the Bitcoin is going to be around for, hundreds and hundreds of years. I think it's the new gold. It's got some advantages, like I've talked about, over gold. And certainly these people that are in Ukraine are going to see some advantages of putting their money into Bitcoin, because their banks, if Russia comes in and closes down their banks and takes everything out of the bank, these people are going to be left with nothing. But if they've moved it to Bitcoin and they've memorize the 24 key phrases in their head, and they could take it anywhere in their world they want, and they'll have that value. There's real benefit to doing that. In Afghanistan, for example, when people saw the writing on the wall that we were going to be pulling out troops, the Western world was going to pull out troops, the US was going to do it, whether you think it was done right or not is not the point here. But when the Afghanis saw that that was happening, a lot of them took their money out of the banks and put it into Bitcoin. Now that the banks are closed and open one day a week for a couple of hours a day, as long as there's power, people can get to their Bitcoin, but they may not be able to get to their banks in Afghanistan. And there's a real tragedy going on over here that nobody's really talking about. Not over here, over there in Afghanistan. And it's a real shame. Could it happen in other countries? Absolutely. And this world is getting crazier, right? If the last couple of years has taught us anything, it's that anything could happen. Any government can say, we need you to have this paper. We need you to do this. We need you to wear this. We need you to stick this in your arm. And, that's a lot of overreach. And could it happen with your money? Yeah. So I want you to be prepared. Gold, Bitcoin, just know that it could happen and have a backup plan. That's all I'm saying. Oh, and by the way, a little plug for what I do is we do have a cryptocurrency fund. Like, we try to take the best cryptocurrencies and we invest in those. And it's a longer term view, but we have a cryptocurrency fund for accredited investors only. So if you're an accredited investor and you're interested in getting involved in our cryptocurrency fund, it's called IntelliGrowth Digital. Love to have you, at least love to have a conversation, figure out a way to get in touch with me. We'll probably put it in the notes or a link to one of my websites, but that's what we do. And we can help you easily get into cryptocurrencies if you qualify, and we have a meeting of the minds, and that's what you want to do. All right, take care.